Welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to be running through 4 quick tips to hopefully help you master the Mitre Saw. And stick around to the end because I'm hoping to give away 1 bonus tip. One of the most common joints in woodworking is the housing joint or the rebate housing joint. Now there's many ways to do this rebate joint. Generally, most people will do it just with a tenon saw and a chisel and a wooden mallet. You can also do it on the table saw. Today I'm going to show you how to do it on your sliding Mitre Saw. Now the first step is actually locating your depth stop mechanism. You can see that thread there drops between that gap. If I raise it up and move this over to the side, the thread stops. Get my pencil and just do a finger gauge across the end of my timber here at about 5 millimeters. So hopefully you can see my pencil line there. I'm going to bring the saw down. Now I want to center my timber to the center of the blade. There's no use the timber being at the back of the blade. I want it right near the most centered tooth. That right there is actually set to my pencil line. We need to bring the timber forward so that the very center, the very bottom of the blade is cutting right to the back edge of this timber. And the way we do that is we need another piece of timber to sit at the back of the fence like that. Now I can put my timber up against that, cut through at 5 millimeter depth. I'm getting right to the front and right to the back of my joint. Get a small block. I'm now going to use the block to mark out on the end. I'm just going to hold it up to the end flush, put a little mark on the back edge. I'm just going to use a square to square that line across like that. So now I have my line. I've got my line at the back for depth. Now we can do the cut. What you can do at this stage, if you really want to, you could grab a chisel or a file and just give that a little bit of a hit. I might do that now just to show you the difference. You could just come across the joint really lightly, or you could grab a file just to get that nice, perfect joint. Okay, so tip number 2, I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way to make repeatable small cuts using a stop and a clamp. Set up a stop block. I'd probably drop my saw down like this. Find your stop to hold the saw in place. Then you can get a tape measure and your block and actually measure how far you want to set up your stop block from the blade. So let's say I want to make my stop 130 millimeters. You then get your clamp, put it over the back of the fence, tighten it up. It's generally a good idea when setting up a stop block to cut off a small part of the corner here on the block. And I'll explain in a minute why that is handy doing that. Slide the saw to 45 degrees, lock it in. Now you only want to cut the corner 10 millimeters high. If you make it too high, like more than 19 millimeters thick, that means you can't use any timber thicker than 19 millimeters on that corner because it'll just go under the corner. You just want to place the timber up against it. What you don't want to do is you don't want to bash this piece up against it. That you're relying on the clamp to hold it as tight as possible. And the harder you push this into your stop block, you risk the chance of it moving just 0.5 millimeter, and sometimes 0.5 millimeter is enough to stuff up your cuts. Now you always want to make sure you come to a complete stop. If I had have pulled this back up while it was still spinning, it could catch on the blade and it might flick out. Or you just risk pushing your stop block further out. These pieces could not be more perfectly cut. Now you might be wondering why we actually made this little cut in the bottom corner here, and I'm going to show you now. I've just thrown some sawdust there. When you're making multiple cuts, there is a good chance that your sawdust will catch in this little area here. Watch what happens when I push the next block up. Okay, we can all see this gap here between the block and my product. What it does is it allows you to just do a bit of cleaning out, push the next one up, and there you go. You can see that's nice and tight up against the block. I want to show you now what would happen if I had a piece that didn't have that cut out. Let's just turn this upside down. You could do a really good job at brushing all this stuff out, but every time you push that up against it, you're always going to have a gap. That little corner just gives you a little bit of leeway. for the sawdust to go. Tip number 3, you've just cut a piece of timber and it's got to fit between two sides and it doesn't quite fit, it's a little bit too long. You've just got to cut a little hair off the timber, or in Australia we refer to it as a bee's dick. So it's really hard to just bring the saw down and try and guess to cut off 0.5 millimeter. There's 2 methods. The first one is to just push your piece of timber into the blade to slightly bend the blade, then lift it up. When it comes down, it's now cutting through just a little bit of the timber. The second way to do this, which is probably the preferred one I like, is to bring the blades down just so the teeth are showing. Push your timber into the teeth just so it touches. Lift up the saw, and then I can just move it over just a smidge and make the cut. The reason I like that second method is because you're sort of in control of how much you want to move it over to make the cut. Tip number 4, how do I cut a board of timber that is too wide for my blade? This tip only really relates to people who don't have a sliding miter saw. I'm going to lock off the sliding mechanism and show you a little trick on how you can cut boards that are wider than your cutting depth. I'm going to lock off my sliding mechanism. I don't know if you can see that, it's not quite going to cut through the edge of my timber. I'm just going to make a cut now and show you. Okay, just short. Just put a piece of timber underneath the piece you're cutting. Now what I'm doing is I'm rising the height of the piece I want to cut to the blade. And if you have a look now, it should cut right through my piece. Thanks for sticking around this long. If you're still here, you're going to get that bonus tip. So let's say you want to cut 2 pieces of timber to the exact same length. Now you can't use the stop block on your fence because the piece of timber you have is too long for your fence. Clamp them together and make the cut through both of them at the same time. So let's say I want to cut this piece to 385 millimeters and I want to cut this piece to 385 millimeters. Get them flush on the end. I can then throw a clamp over the end and I can now make the cut. And the good thing about this method is that you can do it with longer boards. So there is a second method without using the clamp. And what we're going to do, we're still going to get the boards flush, still going to use the clamp, use some masking tape on that to hold it. Now, because I've put a strip of masking tape on this side, I'm just going to put a little bit of masking tape on the bottom here, just so it's level on the bed the whole time. Perfect. So that were my 5 quick tips on how to be a better woodworker with your miter saw. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the workshop next time for another video. Thanks.